Ladies and gentlemen, the roadmap for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Season 4 has released, and this gave me a good opportunity to talk about a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and that's the simple fact that I don't care nearly as much as other people do about the quantity of content in a Call of Duty game. I feel like that's been the main discussion of conversation for Call of Duty fans for quite some time, is how many maps are going to be in this game, how many maps are going to be in the DLC, how many guns is this game going to have, how many modes is this game going to have. It's all about the quantity. That's all people seem to care about. And I think it's important. I do. I'm not going to sit here and act like having 8 maps at launch is a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing. I want as much as they can possibly have within the game, but I don't think it's anywhere near being the most important factor for the game. Not even close. There's like at least 10 other factors I would put above the quantity of content. And just looking at the Season 4 roadmap here, it actually has a decent amount of content. I'm not saying it's perfect because there definitely could be more. We definitely could have another 6v6 map, which they might still give us a third 6v6 map for the mid-season because they've done this before where they don't put all the 6v6 maps on the roadmap and then they surprise us with one for the Reloaded update. They've done that before, so they could definitely do that again. But just looking at this here, when you take into account everything, there is a decent amount of stuff here. But I just don't really care. I don't really look at this and go, oh wow, more stuff to play, simply because I just don't really enjoy Modern Warfare 2 as a Call of Duty experience, and I haven't for quite some time. I think the only main issue with the quantity of content here is that they're spreading themselves too thin between multiple modes, and obviously it's very unlikely you're going to enjoy every single mode the game has to offer, because obviously if you look at it here, we have Warzone, and then we have, multiple things within Warzone like Resurgence, then we have DMZ, then we have the Spec Ops with the raids and such, then we have multiplayer, which multiplayer is split up between multiple different things like gunfight, 6v6, the battle maps, tons of different stuff there. And then there's other random modes that they'll add every now and then to multiplayer that a lot of people don't usually care about. So there's so much to the game, and when they spread themselves so thin, yeah, it does feel like there's less content, because if you only care about 6v6 multiplayer, you are getting less than you would be if they only were to be focusing on 6v6. And I do think that's a problem. I do think that's something worth mentioning. I do think that's something that we could spark a conversation about, but I feel like it's the only thing people talk about. Like, it's the only thing that matters. And I quite frankly just don't care as much about that as I do about quality. I would much rather take a new season with 2 quality multiplayer maps that are really good, really amazing, over having 4 multiplayer maps where maybe they're all just meh, Obviously, the best scenario is having 4 maps that are all amazing, but I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about which one is more of a priority, I would prioritize having the quality over the quantity. And honestly, it's not even just about the quality of the content itself, it's also just more about the quality of the game and how much you enjoy it. Like Black Ops Cold War, for example, it launched with 8 6v6 maps. That is treacherous. That is such a small amount for launch, but I really enjoyed Black Ops Cold War. I still do, obviously, but I really enjoyed it at launch, and so I was okay with that because I was having fun with the game, so having 8 maps wasn't ruining my experience. But when you play a game like, let's say, I don't know, Vanguard, right, which I don't hate Vanguard, I just don't think it's very good. I didn't have a lot of fun with it, but there were 16 maps at launch, which is a ton of content. But if I didn't really enjoy the game, does it really matter? Am I gonna really have that much of a better experience just because there's 8 more maps? All that really does for you is it just kind of has this little period of time in the first couple weeks of launch where you get to experience new maps you've never experienced before. Because I remember in Vanguard, I was like 3 weeks into playing the game, and there was still 1 or 2 maps I've like never played, which was really a weird experience for me, but it was exciting because I was like, oh, now I get to try these other maps. And then once I tried all of them out like once or twice, then that kind of, gimmicky, honeymoon period kind of just like ended. And then I was back to just not really enjoying the game because I didn't enjoy the game to begin with. But Black Ops Cold War, I never got to that point. I never got to the point of not enjoying the game anymore because I liked the game. You know what I mean? So it didn't matter that there was less maps because I enjoy the game. And I think this is an important conversation because there's so many fans of, Call of Duty where you can tell they do not enjoy the game, like they despise the gameplay design and all of that, but they're still saying we just need more maps, more maps, more maps, more maps. That's what we need. This game needs more maps. It'll be better. But then the new maps come out and they don't enjoy the game whatsoever. They don't change their mind just because there's more maps. Like, unless that was your only problem with the game was lack of content, then yeah, it makes sense as a criticism, but for a lot of people, that's not their only criticism. I've seen many people who clearly don't enjoy the game, and they're like all excited for the new maps, and then they just get disappointed because they just don't enjoy the gameplay. And a lot of times they'll blame the maps. I've noticed people have been saying that, you know, Call of Duty can't make good maps anymore, their maps have sucked for a while. I feel like a lot of the time, it's not actually the map's fault, and it's just the gameplay design itself. Not to say they make amazing maps all the time, because I don't think, you know, Modern Warfare 2's been doing the best with their maps recently, but in general, I don't think it's always the map's fault. And I know this because I don't really have fun even on the remakes. I mean, I love Dome as a map. I think Dome is a fantastic map in Modern Warfare 3, but in this game, I just don't really have fun on it. I think it just doesn't play well, and it's not because the map was changed. They didn't really change that much. It's just simply because I don't really enjoy the gameplay design itself. So of course, why would I enjoy the map? You know what I mean? And so people tend to just blame the maps, like, oh, it's the quality of the maps, it's the quantity, it's the maps. Everyone always, it's just always maps. Maps are important, they are, but I think a lot of the time it's just simply the game was not made for your playstyle, and that's unfortunate. I do wish that they could find a way to make a game kind of for all playstyles. I really don't feel like a single Call of Duty has fully done that, because they'll act like it is. They'll say, oh, this game's made for everyone, you can be a camper, you can be a rusher, but that's not really true. Like, it's really not. That's not how this game was designed. It's not easy to rush whatsoever. You could do it, but it's definitely not built for that. I don't think Modern Warfare 2019 was the same either. In Cold War, you could definitely do a bit more different playstyles, but at the same time, there still are some different playstyles that don't work as well just based on how the game works. And I don't know, I hope one day they can find a way to please everyone, because it's very rare to get a Call of Duty game where everyone just kind of like unanimously loves it. It just doesn't really happen anymore. Looking at the Season 4 content itself though, it actually does look pretty decent. I think the Warzone stuff especially is what I'm most interested in, even if Warzone 2.0 isn't the most fun. But they've been really killing it with the, you know, amount of maps that they've been adding. So obviously we had Al-Mazrah, which was a completely brand new map, and then we had Ashika Island, and I thought that was going to be the only thing, but now we have Vondel, which is the new Resurgence map coming for Season 4, and I'm assuming it's going to stay even with the next Call of Duty's release. Hopefully it does. That would kind of suck if they just decided to remove them like they did with Rebirth and Fortune's Keep in the original Warzone. And for the new 6v6 maps, we have Showdown, which of course is a remake of the COD 4 Showdown map, which was also in Al-Mazrah, so it's, you know, pretty easy for them to put in the game, obviously. And this other map, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Kunisjar District. I have no idea what that's, how you pronounce that, but I do believe this is taken from the Vondel map itself. It's a location on it, so there's no like completely original new 6v6 maps, but honestly, I don't really care. Like, I see a lot of people kind of hate when they do that, but I think that's just a smart usage of their resources, and I'm okay with that. I would like more maps, but I'm kind of just not that passionate about this game currently, so it's kind of hard for me to care that much. But I'm actually looking forward to Modern Warfare 3. I think there's actually potential for Sledgehammer to put together something decent if they make the design changes that I am hoping they make to the game. And then of course we're going to be slowly building our way up to Treyarch's next game, which I'm very, very excited for. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Season 4's content for Modern Warfare 2? I will see you on the next one. Peace out.